Hey y'all, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kay, and this is my channel where I share all about my making, whether that is knitting, crocheting, plastic canvas, cross stitch, so many fun things. Thank you for joining me today. It is Wednesday, February 8th. It's 10:30 a.m. I'm finishing up some coffee and I thought, let's record an episode. It's been a couple of weeks and there are quite a few things that I want to share with you. I have finished 3 of the projects that I was working on. I've started a couple of new things, of course, and I've pulled some things out to work on that y'all haven't seen since Vlogmas, if you watched that. Also, we have some giveaway winners to announce from episode 174, and we're going to have another giveaway on this episode, so stay tuned to the end of the podcast for information on that. And what else do we have? A couple things that came in the mail. I'm gonna go over my January stats that I've been tracking. I think that's about it. So let's get started. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady, and I do have links for everywhere down below this video in the description box that you can find me, as well as links to project pages for every project that I'm working on that's knitting or crocheting. I have a plastic canvas project to show you today that does not have a Ravelry project page, but everything else does. Links to shops that I talk about, all of that is always right there for y'all to find. Okay, little sip of coffee, and then we're gonna talk January stats first today. So I had a video up, it's been quite a few weeks ago, about just kind of what I was thinking for this year. I don't like to set, like, our making should be fun and not stressful, so I don't set a lot of crazy goals or anything like that for myself. Our making should just kind of flow, and we should have fun and enjoy it and not make it stressful. But I am doing a making journal this year because I find that enjoyable, and I'm tracking how many grams. These are not things that I find stressful. I'm not trying to meet a certain goal or do anything crazy. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to share stats from January. So my making journal, and if you want to know more details about all of these, you can head over to that other episode. I will link that and find more info there. But I'll probably try to do this after the end of, a month ends, just share what my stats were from that month. So in my making journal, I'm just tracking my projects. I don't have pictures over here for all of them yet, but let me find my end of January page. Okay, so January I finished 22 objects. This is not started and finished. Some of these were already started and they were whips from 2022. But I finished 22 objects. The breakdown of that is I finished 5 pairs of socks, 14 dishcloths, so that is where the majority of my finished objects came from, 1 cowl, 1 pair of mittens, and 1 blanket, which you see right back here. And I will talk about this on the next Scrappy Sunday chat. So be sure that you're watching those if you do not already watch them. I'll talk about my row 1 granny square blanket that I finished in detail on the Scrappy Sunday video, the next one. So that's my breakdown of finished objects for January. Not a bad start to the year. A lot of dishcloths because I'm still doing those on the treadmill. And then in this notebook, I'm using it for various things, but one of the things I'm tracking in here is how many grams I knit this year. So anything that was a whip I had weighed January 1st, and I worked out did all the math to figure out what I knit this year on that whip. So in January, I knit 1,522.60 grams. That's a lot. Or crocheted. I should say knit or crocheted because I crocheted a lot of this this year. So that's grams. Skeins in versus skeins out. I had 1 come in January and 15 go out. I didn't track like all the minis and stuff for this, but I did try to figure out how many, like guesstimate how many of the gray I use. I really have no idea. I've had people ask and I didn't keep track, but That's just kind of a guesstimate on that. So yeah, 15 out, 1 in, which is my Yarnable. I think that's all from my stats for January. Those are just kind of things that I'm finding it enjoyable to know, just for my personal reference. It's not to compare to anybody, because we should never do that with our making either. Everybody is different. It's not to compare to anybody. It's just for my own personal reflection to see what I have done so far this year. Okay, so that's my stats. Let me check my notes. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to talk about with that. Nope. All right, we're going to talk about finished objects, and I'm just realizing I forgot. I knew I was going to forget this too. Last episode I talked about making sure I say start and finish dates for things, just because I really, and a lot of you said that you really liked that because it puts things into perspective. It goes back to not comparing ourselves to others with anything, but especially with our making. Do what makes you happy, work at a pace that makes you happy. Don't put any pressure on yourself. So it goes back to that. And a lot of people think I start and finish things from one episode to the next, but that's not always the case. So I think it's a good thing to say when I start and finish things. So as we go through these, I will just pull them up on here. And some things I do finish quickly. Other things you'll see that they kind of sit for a while and don't get finished for a while. Okay, so the first thing that I will show is my Love Story socks. I did a second sample of these because I wanted to work them up in 2 different colors. I don't drop them here. And I love how these turned out. So much fun in just the 2 colors for this. I think the possibilities are endless with this pattern. The yarn I used for this was the January 2023 Yarnable. The lighter color here, it was the main skein, and then Yarnable also has an option where you can get a 50-gram skein to go with it that coordinates with it, and that is what the pink was. And I just thought they were so good. So I used less than 50 grams for each of these because this was 50 grams total, and then I had a 100-gram skein of the other color, but I used less than 50 for each color. This pattern is out now. It did come out prior to February 1st. I released it early because so many people were excited. I was getting so many emails. Everybody wanted to cast on, so I just went ahead and released the cowl and the socks early, so you can find those on Etsy, and Ravelry. Links for both of those places are down below. This I knit on 9-inch circulars. I did a size medium. And I just followed, like, I didn't make any changes other than I didn't use minis. I alternated these 2 colors throughout. So worked up very nice. I'm very happy with how these turned out. I started them on January 4th and I finished them on February 1st. All right, next one was one that was a whip from last year, and it had so little that needed to be done on it. I finally just buckled down and got it done with the motivation that I wanted to cast on something else. And it's another one of these, which we'll talk about when I get to that whip. I'll talk about what I'm wearing. So I finished my Lace and Fade Boxy. This is a pattern by Locatelli. And I did not wear it today because I already had this on, and in all honesty, I was just being lazy and didn't want to completely change because I have to wear a tank top under the Lace and Fade, and so I will wear it next time. I had errands to run this morning, and then I got home and I was like, I need to record a podcast today, set everything up, and yeah, just didn't take the time to go change into this. So you will see it next time. But this is the Lace and Fade Boxy. See, it is a very oversized boxy, that's the name, sweater, shorter sleeves. They go down, just down past my elbow. But I love this. The yarn that I used is by Moonglow Yarn Co. She had kits for this. I started this back in August, so that must have been when she had the kits for this sweater. And it is fingering weight, and then there is mohair sections of lace. I'm so pleased with how this came out. I followed the pattern exactly. I knit the size 3. I didn't make any modifications or changes to this, and it fits perfect. Absolutely perfect. When I blocked it, I was able to block it. The only thing, I'm fine with the length, but I wanted to, pre-blocking, I tried it on it and I knew I wanted to block it out to try to get more length, which usually isn't a problem when you block. Things are going to stretch lengthwise. So I just did that when I pinned it out on the blocking mats. I measured it before I pinned it, and then as I was pinning it, measured to see if I was going to be able to get that length, and I did, no problem. It fits great. So it is a little bit of a cropped, keep that in mind if you make it, but it's a little bit of a cropped, but I wear high-waisted jeans. That's what I prefer. And yeah, it's perfect. So I will wear this next time. I will put it upstairs in my cabinet that I have all of my hand knits in, so that it's up there and ready to go. Was there anything? Oh, I did put on here just to note that I want to knit the regular Boxy now. She does have like a fingering weight and a worsted weight. I want to knit the fingering weight Boxy because I love the fit of this one so much. So that is definitely on my to knit list at some point. But yeah, I would love to knit that one as well. Okay, I started this one in August, on August 23rd, and I finished it February 4th. Okay, one more finished object. These are socks that I knit for my husband, Eric. I knit these using a sock set from a homespun house called I Can't Put My Arms Down. It was inspired by the movie A Christmas Story. And I started these December 19th and finished them February 6th. So I knit these magic loop, US 1, 2.25 millimeter needles, 64 stitches. The stripes that you see, I do have all of this in my Ravelry project page as well, but the stripes that you see, I did 5 rounds for the stripe and then 2 rounds of the main collar in between. And it was a sock set that came with this blue and then this burgundy maroon color as well. So I love these. I think Eric's absolutely going to love them. A Christmas Story is one of his favorite movies. He's seen these as I've worked on them, but he probably doesn't remember that they're for him. So I am going to give these to him on Friday. It is our 17-year wedding anniversary, so I am going to gift these to him as one of his anniversary presents. And I think he will be so happy to have those. Only other thing I finished is the crochet granny square blanket. But like I said, I'm gonna save that and talk about that on the Scrappy Sunday chat, which will probably be up not this weekend, but the next, I imagine. It'll be in February for sure. So that's it for finished objects. Works in progress, I have 2 new ones. Ooh, I forgot to bring my temperature blanket down. I'm gonna go grab that really quickly. Okay, got the blanket, topped off the coffee, or not really topped it off, but added a little more in there. Now let's talk works in progress. So I have had questions lately about maybe projects I started during Vlogmas, Advent projects and things. What happened to those? Why haven't you shown them? Did you frog them? If I don't show things, it's probably just because I haven't worked on it. I have a lot of works in progress, which is fine. For me, I don't mind having a lot of whips. I enjoy it, I enjoy the variety, but that doesn't mean that I work on everything all the time. A lot of the times I'll pick a couple of things to work on for a little while and then maybe work on a couple other things, and that's just what works for me. So if you don't see something, it's just because it's not an active whip. It's not something I've worked on in the past 2 weeks since the last time you saw me. Doesn't mean they've been frogged or forgotten about or anything like that. Just means I have not worked on them. So when they are an active whip and I'm working on them, then I will show them. I do have one of my Advent projects that I will show today because I have been working on it. But yeah, anything that you haven't seen shown here, it's just because it hasn't been worked on. Okay, works in progress. I have a new cast on. So this goes to what I'm wearing as well. So I pulled this out of my cabinet that I have in our bedroom that has my hand knits in it, and I knit this back in 2018. It is a Madewell cardigan. It's a pattern by Locatelli. Stand up so you guys can see it. And I love this cardigan. I have no clue what the yarn is. I had to look back on the project page to see when it was knit. It was knit in 2018. It was my sweater that I wore at Rhinebeck, the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in 2018. No clue what the yarn is. None. I think I remember that they don't dye yarn anymore, but I have no clue. So anyways, I love this cardigan. It is perfect. I am a t-shirt and a cardigan crew neck sweatshirt kind of a gal, like comfy. So this is perfect, and I haven't worn it in ages. And now that I pulled it back out a couple of weeks ago, I've been wearing it nonstop. And I thought, why have I not made another one of these? It's such a great fit for me. I just love it. So I decided to cast on another one. And for this one, I know it's been ages since I talked about it, so I know I knit the pattern exactly, aside from I did not do the waist shaping. And I knit this ribbing longer so that I could fold it down. Other than that, I followed the pattern exactly as written. It's a fingering weight cardigan. I knit a size extra large because my gauge was off. The yarn is a little bit of a thinner yarn than what was used in the pattern, so my gauge was a little different. So I knit an extra large so that I would get like a medium to a large kind of a size. And it worked out great. I love it. So the one that I've started is with some yarn that I believe I bought. There goes a project bag. I bought in 2018 while I was in New York at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival at the event Indie Untangled. Pretty sure that's where I know that's where I bought it, but I'm pretty sure that's when I bought it. I'm pretty sure it's the year that I wore this to Rhinebeck. So I have it in a bag by Allegheny Fiber Arts that I picked up at Wool Gathering, a yarn festival around here. A little farm bag, because one day, I want to have some land with some miniature donkeys and chickens, and I wouldn't mind miniature cows either. One day. Okay, so I have started this and I'm loving it. The yarn is Fuse Fiber Studio. The color is Shelter, and this is on their Fuse sock base, which is a 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. And again, this yarn was purchased back in 2018, I'm pretty sure. So I've had it for a while. So I have 4 skeins of it, and I am alternating. Right now I've got 2 going, and I'm alternating every 2 rows because it is a variegated yarn, and I don't mind pulling or anything crazy like that, but I knew it definitely was going to need to be alternated. So here's how it is looking, and I am so happy with it. It's getting blown out a bit. It's a little bit darker than it's showing on camera, but it's working up great. I'm really, really pleased with it. I knew it was going to look a little, I don't know that really looks crazy, but I knew there was going to be a lot of different stuff going on, and I'm so happy with how it's looking. That's more accurate right there, like the darkness of it. I was like, I don't know how many rows in, and I was a little concerned because I felt like it was looking like a camouflage sweater. So I sat on it for a night, I slept on it, I pulled it out the next day and decided, I don't care. I love it. I have 4 skeins of this. I want a sweater out of it. I'm just gonna go for it. But I feel like it's evened out a bit, and there's so much going on now that it doesn't really like look like in your face camouflage. And even if it does, I'll still wear it because I love the process. I am such a process knitter and I'm gonna love wearing this regardless. So yeah, I cannot wait to have this done. Fingering weight cardigan, slow going. It's gonna be a while, but that's okay. It's fine. I'm following the same things I did last time as far as I'm using the needle sizes recommended in the pattern. I'm making a size extra large because my gauge is different than in the pattern. And I think it should work out just like this one did. That's it for that one. Okay, what else? Oh, I forgot to put my pattern back. What else have I been working on? So I am caught up on my temperature blanket. Up to the day before yesterday is the last day I added in. So tonight I'll add in yesterday's. And I won't go through all the details. I talked about this last time. I'll show you guys the progress, but all details are on my Ravelry project page, and the episode is linked on there for where I talked in more depth about how I'm doing this blanket. But here's what it's looking like now. You can see there's some eyelets right in here. So that is the end of January, the beginning of February. I decided to do an eyelet row to break up the months. So I actually did, how many rows did I do? 10 rows? I have it on my project page. I put on there exactly how I did it so that I would not forget, but I'm pretty sure it was like 10, I don't remember now. I know on the third row of whatever I did, maybe it was just 6 rows. That sounds more accurate, 6 rows, not 10. 10's a lot. 6 rows. On the third row, I did the eyelets. That's what I did. So I think it's just a nice little breakup for the months. And I can kind of see like that was January, this is February. I'm so happy with how this is working up. I'm so glad still that I'm just doing the garter. And I can't wait to see what it continues to look like. I've got all of this in a bag by Fat Squirrel. I only brought one pair of socks down to show you. I have quite a few other ones going and I worked on them here and there. I have like 3 project bags sitting on our hall tree by the front door so I can kind of just grab them and take them as I need to, you know, if I don't have a whip in my purse or something. But these are the ones that I have been working on a lot really since yesterday. But I was done with the toe on these yesterday and then I did all of that. I'm so happy with how these are working up. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. I am knitting these toe up, magic loop, and I'm enjoying it. The yarn is a mystery to me. We found this under Wyatt's bed, I'm pretty sure is where it was, or maybe it was in a cubby. It was somewhere in Wyatt's room when I cleaned his room. And our only thought is Calvin, the very naughty kitty who's sitting over there staring at me, took this upstairs. He's probably wanting this back. He loves yarn and he's a yarn thief and a yarn destroyer. Like he can tangle yarn faster than you've ever seen in your life. And have it like under tables, like around the table legs. Like, I don't even know how he does it. It's a mystery. But this yarn, there is no label. It was wound in a ball. I have no clue what it is at all. But it's very, very, very pretty. So I am working these toe up. I'm going to do an after thigh heel. And these are going to be for a friend. I have a couple pairs of socks that I'm going to be working on for friends here coming up, starting with this. And I'll show you the yarn for the next pair for another friend. So yeah, I'm doing 64 stitches, US 1, 2.25 millimeter needles. The toe is what I have came up with. Eventually, no clue when, there will be a tutorial for that. But that's it. Not much else to say about these right now. I obviously flew through this. I need to measure and see where I am at, how much further I have to go before I need to put my markers in for the heel. The afterthought heel, I'm doing it the same way as I do cuff down. So no changes with how the heel itself is. The markers are placed, how it's done, all of that. Just switching which direction I am knitting that in. I pulled out my Cozy Comfort Throw. So I have this in a bag that I bought from Mom of 6 Stitches. Super cute, scrappy Christmas bag. And this was one of my Advent projects that so many people have been asking about, all the Advent projects lately. And I've really been wanting to work on the Cozy Comfort Throw. It's such a relaxing knit. So here's where I'm at. Not much progress since Advent. Honestly, I just finished this current mini. I don't remember the last time I even picked this up, but it's bunched up on the needles. But here is where I'm at on this. This pattern is by Molly Klatt of A Homespun House, and it's using fingering weight held double. So I have just a bunch of bare undyed yarn that I am using as one of the yarns. And then the minis that I'm using are from the Polka Dot Creek Canadian Yarn Dyers Advent. So Polka Dot Creek put this Advent together, and it's different Canadian yarn dyers. There was a different yarn dyer each day. I'm not sure what the one I'm working on right now is because the rest of it got the box. I already threw that away yesterday and it had the tag in it. But I did open these every day throughout Advent if you are curious, or throughout Vlogmas. If you're curious for more details and to see each of those as they are opened or anything like that. But I have the next 3 days. They came in boxes. And I have the next 3 days in the bag ready to go. And I'm going to try to do a mini a day and get some working on this because I thoroughly just enjoy the mindlessness. It's just so fun. And I loved this Advent. It was so cool to see each day the different dyers and their different dyeing styles because everybody's so different. It was so fun to see them each day as I opened them, and now it's fun to see them working up. I think this is going to be such a fun blanket. It's probably going to be one that I put aside and just pull out every year for Christmas, just because that'll be fun. So yeah, I've got this mini started. Yesterday I finished off this one and started this one, which is probably going to get blown out. It's speckled with some pinks, greens, blues, reds. It's got a bunch of different colors in it. So I did, I think just one row. Yeah, one row with this new one. And now I'm going to try to do one a day. If I don't get that done, that's fine. It's not a huge deal. Not putting any pressure on myself with any of my making. But yeah, I just miss working on it. So I kind of thought one a day. I do still have my dishcloths I'm working on. I just glanced over that way and saw them on the treadmill. I'm still working through the Christmas yarn. So there's one of those. I have a basket over here that I have just been putting them in. These all need the ends woven in. I've started doing 2 a day, weaving the ends in so that it doesn't seem overwhelming. But when I'm done on the treadmill over there, I just toss it in the chair and then I toss it in the basket, and yeah, 2 a day. I'm almost done with the Christmas yarn. I have the cake I'm working on now because it was a huge cone and I wound it up into cakes, and I have the cake I'm working on now and then one more, and then I have some of the gray left. So I'm almost done, and I'm kind of ready to be done with the dishcloths for now. And then socks, I'll just grab some socks on 9-inch circulars, and those will be my treadmill knitting for a little while. Plastic canvas. I'm like, what else? I brought some, there was something else I was going to talk about. Okay, my plastic canvas project. I am still working on Santa, the tissue box cover. Let me find his picture. There he is. Look how cute he is. A little bit of a glare. He's so cute. I've got to get this done. And I'm so, I was gonna say I'm so close, but there's still a lot to do, but I'm close to being done with like the actual stitching of the pieces. So I just have everything here in a fancy Ziploc bag. And I am currently working on these little pieces that are like the snow covered parts of the chimney edges. I'm on the last one. There's 4 of them, last one. Then I have to do all the like edging, stitching around. There's like some special stitches on some of the things, like this will break up the bricks on the side of the chimney, this is the stitching that I'll do. But yeah, everything is done stitching wise once I finish that last piece. All of his stitching is done, the special stitches. You can see like the eyes and the outline. I'm not sure if everything is done on this one or not. I'll have to double check. Might be. That's the back. So those will be stitched together. But yeah, I'm just thoroughly enjoying this. I'm trying to pick it up every day and do at least 30 minutes on it every day. And that may not seem like a lot, and you may be like, oh, I'm not getting much progress done if I'm only doing 30 minutes a day. And you would be so shocked how quickly that adds up, because otherwise that's 30 minutes you're not working on it. So 30 minutes a day, I'm telling you. I've been doing that method for years with different things, and it is the way to go. So then once all that special stitching is done, I just have to piece everything together. And then I'm gonna pull out my cross stitch project. I have a little basket over here that has these in it. I'm gonna pull out my cross stitch project next. It will say "You Are My Sunshine" eventually. Right now it just says "You Are My." This will be the next thing that I finish. And then there will be so many things, because I have bought so many things over the years, mostly Christmas decorations, but there are some different things just for decorations throughout the house, but a lot of like Christmas ornament kits or different things like that. And this is the year that I get back to all of these other things that bring me so much happiness and so much joy. And I really focus my making just back on it being my making, my hobby, my fun, a creative outlet. This is the year. This is the year. It's happening. Okay, mail. I have a couple things that came in the mail. My Row One subscription came. Row One is a mini skein subscription service. It's the minis that I used for this blanket back here. It's a different yarn dyer each month. There's always a little bag that has some, there's always a goodie in here. It was a little candy bracelet. And there's a progress keeper. This one's a heart. I don't think you'll be able to see it. And then a light bulb marker. There's always a paper that tells you a little bit about the yarn dyer each month. And this month it is Charming You. So it tells you about the dyer, it tells you the colorway names, information about the company. This one, they're so pretty. So, so pretty. I know there can be a little bit of glare on there, but I love, these are 10 gram minis, and they are each marked. They each have a band on them that tells you the yarn dyer and the colorway name. I have decided, I've been getting these for quite a while. I did use up quite a few of them in this blanket. Then I also started, and I'll talk about this on the next Scrappy Sunday chat as well, but I started another granny square blanket, but instead of the small squares, I'm just making one giant granny square. Still holding the fingering weight double. That's what these minis are, fingering weight. So I'm holding them double with themselves, like the same color, and just trying to use up all the ones that I still have. I think I still have like 10. This might make it 11. So I want to get these used up as quick as I can so that then when they're coming in every month, I can be working them up that month that I get them. That's the plan anyways. And my Yarnable came. That's the other thing that came in the mail. So Yarnable is another yarn subscription service. This one is for a full skein of yarn. They do have different options like I talked about before now where you can add a 50-gram coordinating skein. I'll have them linked below and you can head over and check them out. They are only open at certain times for new members. So what you want to do if you're interested in joining Yarnable is follow that link, sign up, like you can put your email in to be notified when they have spots available for new members. So you want to make sure you do that so you can snag a spot as soon as they have any available. This is another one I've been getting for so long. I always get one skein of fingering weight. And I did already open it. Everything's already been opened. But it always comes with a card that tells you about the box, about the things that you're receiving this month. And it has a scratch off code on the back for Hypnotic Yarn that's good for that month that you receive your box. There's always some extras. This month we have a hat pattern that's designed by Hypnotic Yarn. Very cute. We have a sticker that says yarn is my love language. That is getting blown out. And then there's a project details tracker notepad, which is super fun. It has, you can put the pattern name, whether it's knit or crochet, needle size, hook size, start, finish dates, modifications, notes. There's so much on this. So that is super fun. And then we also had a bag. It's a tote bag that says, same as the sticker, yarn is my love language. Fun extras as always. The yarn is gorgeous. It's called Love Language. I always get their plush sock, which is 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon, 100 grams. Look how pretty, purple, pink. It's so good. This is yarn I talked about. I have a few pairs of socks I'm making for friends this month. This is going to be the next pair that I start for another friend. So I can't wait to get this caked up. I did the January socks with the January Yarnable, got those done. I'm trying to work them up in the month that I received them. Now it's time to get this one started because we are well into February here somehow. So that's the mail that I got. I do have, like I said, a link for them down below. Yarnable, I also have a discount code for them, so you can get $5 off of your first box, and I'll have that code down below with the link. All right, we have winners to announce from episode 174. We have a giveaway for this episode, and then I'm also going to chat a bit about what I've been reading, watching, and life stuff as well. So our winners for last episode, the scammers did come out again. They're just there. Everybody and their brother on YouTube is having issues with this right now. It's probably not going to change. They're just going to be there now. I will never contact you and tell you have won via a comment. I want to say that again because I still had people that emailed me even after I talked about it on the last episode, wanting to know, like they tried to contact me via Telegram and it wasn't working or something. So I will never contact you via a YouTube comment and tell you that you have won. I will only say your name here and then you need to contact me because I'm sure they'll come out again on this episode, unfortunately. So we had 3 winners from the last episode, and the 3 winners are Jocelyn Valinsky, Laura Smith, and M. Farrell. So congratulations, you 3. If you would contact me at crazysockladypodcast@gmail.com, give me your shipping information, and I will get your yarn and goodie bundles sent out to you as soon as I can. For this episode, we are going to do another yarn and goodie bundle. Like I said, working on that giveaway cabinet in there, getting some stuff out the door. So to be entered to win this giveaway, just comment down below and let me know what project you are working on that is bringing you the most joy right now. Anything, knit, crochet, plastic canvas, cross stitch, sewing, anything that you are making that is bringing you the most joy out of all of your projects. Or just if you're a one project kind of person, what's that one you're working on right now? And I will draw the winner for that on episode 176. All right, so reading and watching. I have finished a few books lately. I finished The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager and loved it. If you'll remember, I talked about The House Across the Lake before, and I loved the book, but I kind of like got thrown a bit. There's a twist in there, and if you've read it, you know, and I'm not gonna give it away. But it was my first Riley Sager book, and I was like, oh my, that was quite the twist. So I was unsure about how I felt about it, but I liked every other aspect of the book, so I thought, I'm not going to give up on Riley Sager after one book. Let's read another one. So I read The Last Time I Lied and loved the book so much. It was so good. So I have a lot of Riley Sager's books queued up now to read in the future. Would definitely recommend The Last Time I Lied. And then after that, I read One by One by Ruth Ware. And I loved that one as well. I feel like I flew through that one. I could not put it down. I just actually got a new Kindle Paperwhite because I have started reading a lot throughout the day while I'm knitting or doing other things. And my Kindle Paperwhite I had for so long. I don't like reading on a traditional tablet or on my phone. I really like it, just bothers my eyes, my head. So I love the Paperwhite, and I just, man, it was ancient and it was showing that it was so old. The battery would not hold. It was freezing all the time. I was having to restart it. So I caved and I bought a new one, and it's made such a difference. I can actually read without the pages. Like, I would go to the next page and it would just sit there. It was such a pain. Anyways, yeah, got a new Kindle. So now I'm just flying through books and so happy about it. Right now I'm reading The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware as well. I have bought a couple of her books because I loved One by One so much. So I'm excited to read some more of hers. I thought I had read The Woman in Cabin 10 before, but I had not. I think I was thinking of the one that was like, isn't there a book, The Woman in the Window or something? I was thinking of a different book because when I pulled up The Woman in Cabin 10, the cover didn't look familiar, and then I read the description and I was like, yeah, I've never read this. So that's what I'm currently reading and enjoying it as well. Definitely these are all kind of like mystery kind of books like that. So if you like those types of books. Watching, we are watching Your Honor on Showtime. We are up to the current season. I think it's only the second season. I think we have one episode that we're behind on. Just really enjoying that. I love Bryan Cranston and the kid that's in it. I can't remember his name though, but I loved him in Wednesday as well. So really enjoying that show. And then we are also watching Parenthood on Hulu, which was out ages ago, and Eric's actually seen all of it, and some like how I shouldn't say somehow, like I have no idea how. He stays up later than I do, so a lot of times he'll watch shows after I've went to bed, and that's been one of them in the past he's watched. And he's always told me, you need to watch the show, you would like it. So finally a couple weeks ago, we were sitting down on like a Sunday afternoon, and he just started it, and now I'm hooked, and I absolutely love it. I love Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls, and the whole cast is just phenomenal. And it's one of those shows where it's not that it's sad, but I find myself tearing up on almost every episode because the stuff that they talk about in that show as far as being a parent or a sibling or, you know, a daughter, a son, like it's just so relatable. The entire show is relatable, and it's just one that like gets me every time. So I'm really enjoying that. I have no clue what episode we are on because I sit down, Eric turns it on, and we watch. We're probably, I'm gonna guess we're end of season 2 or into season 3 even. I think there might be 6 seasons. I could be totally wrong. But yeah, if you've never watched it, I feel like a lot of people probably have already watched it. But if you've never watched it, I would definitely recommend Parenthood. So that's kind of all with reading and watching. Life stuff. Last time I talked about a snow day. We did get snow. It did not last. It melted very quickly and it was very sad. It just became like a rainy, slushy mess. I just feel like this has been the strangest winter. I feel like we haven't really had a winter. We've gotten like glimpses, a little bit of snow and then it melts. And it's kind of cold and then it's warm. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be 60. So it's already feeling like spring and I love winter. But I'm like, if we're not gonna have one, let's just get to summer so I can put the top back on the Jeep and go on a Jeep ride with Eric and enjoy feeling the sunshine on my skin. And yeah, I'm kind of like, all right, are we gonna have any more snow or are we just going straight into spring here? If so, let's do it and like, let's shift my mindset to be ready for spring and summer because it's been such a weird winter. What else was going on last time and has happened since then? Cassie came up, my sister Cassie, her husband James, and their daughter Lily. They came up and they got here on a Friday, went home on a Sunday. We always just have the absolute best time. We played Pretty Pretty Princess. I'll put a picture up of Austin here. He might kill me for this. But we played Pretty Pretty Princess a couple of times. Austin and Wyatt a lot. They're the best cousins ever. We just always have such a great time with them. They are so much fun. And we had friends over while they were here, our friends Kaylee and Trevor. So they finally got to meet because I just knew they would all get along so good, and they did. And it was great. Wrestling season is over with. I talked before, Wyatt got hurt, so he didn't get to finish the season out actively wrestling, but he went to every practice, every event. He's just such a trooper and such a good team player, and he did great. I'm so proud of him for sticking with it even after he could not wrestle. He still went to everything and watched and cheered his teammates on, and it was just great. Absolutely wonderful. So he's doing good, healing up, all's going well. Austin's getting ready for a basketball tryout for an AAU team, which is not a school team, so a separate team from the school. He's getting ready for a tryout that's going to happen next month. So lots of prep and working with him with that. Eric's been running so many drills with him and his friend, and crossing our fingers, tryouts go well. And we'll be back to watching basketball because I thoroughly miss it. We got tickets, or not we, my sister got tickets. We love Fall Out Boy. We love all that genre of music from, you know, I say back in the day. They do have some current stuff, but back in my high school, late high school days. And she lucked out and got 4 tickets to see Fall Out Boy. We didn't think we were going to be able to get them. She got them. So me, my sister Cassie, Wyatt, and then my friend Kaylee, we are all going to go see Fall Out Boy this summer, and I'm very, very excited about that. I love concerts, love going to see live music. And then I love that Wyatt enjoys that same kind of music that I do. So it's fun for us to all get to go together. So we will be doing that. That's a ways off. It's not until July, but yeah, we'll be going to that this summer. Eric and I have our 17-year wedding anniversary coming up on this Friday, February 10th. So that'll be fun. We'll do a special little fancier date night. We'll go to Cooper's Hawk is where we're gonna go. It's one of our favorite places to go to. So we'll head there for our wedding anniversary date night. And I think that's it. I feel like I'm just rambling now. So I am gonna get off of here and go get some more coffee and get to editing. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, chatting about all of my making, seeing what I've been working on. And I will be back again probably next week with Scrappy Sunday Chat. We'll see what else we get up to, but hopefully I'll be back with that next week so I can fill you guys in on this blanket. And I may have started 2 new Scrappy blankets. I love them. You can never have enough. But I will talk to you guys again soon. Until then, happy making. Bye.